For large-scale operations, this can easily total in the hundreds of thousands of dollars. New lighting, HVAC, dehumidifiers, heat curtains, controllers not only can cost a fortune, but are expensive to operate. This is just the unfortunate reality of running a grow facility, but not anymore. If you've heard of a company called Green Rebates, then you already know what I'm talking about. Green Rebates changed the entire indoor cultivation industry seemingly overnight. They are the leading rebate and incentive management company in the US, and their sole purpose is to get you paid for the purchase of new grow equipment. Not a loan, real cash paid to growers. To date, Green Rebates has put more than $75 million back in the pockets of growers all across the nation. It doesn't matter if you've just purchased new equipment, are planning an expansion, opening a new facility, or maybe even just waiting for the economy to turn around before making any purchasing decisions. If you're a grower, you need to call the team at Green Rebates. They run an in-depth review of your facility to find all applicable equipment and energy rebates, and can connect you with every leading product manufacturer to find the right fit for your needs. Then they show up with a check. It won't cost you anything to find out how much money is being left on the table. Money that you can use to grow your business. Call Green Rebates, tell them you heard about them on the Cannabis and Tech Today podcast, and get ready to get paid.
Welcome to another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks presented by Green Rebates here at MJBizCon. I'm here with Aaron Bloom from DocMJ. How are you?
I'm doing great, thanks. How are you?
I'm doing great, thank you. I'm looking forward to talking to you because you're the first medical marijuana card facilitator that we've had on the podcast in this MJBizCon swirl. Tell me a little bit about it. I know you're out of Florida.
We are originated in Florida. We're based in Florida. We see patients in 7 states. We run a medical marijuana physician's practice. So we see people who want to become patients and are looking for the medicinal benefits of cannabis and are in a state that either requires it or they're looking for the guidance and the comfort level of having a doctor recommend what products they should take and how they should take it. And a lot of our patients have multiple medical conditions, so they prefer to see a doctor so they have the comfort of understanding what will work best for them.
Do you work with a network of providers across all 7 states as well as dispensaries, or how does the model work?
So we have doctors who are our employees, so we have dedicated physicians so that we know them, we know that they're competent and experienced and practice cannabinoid medicine. And then we don't partner with dispensaries, but certainly we are in touch with them and we partner with them in the sense that we want to learn about the products they have and they offer so that we can educate our patients and make sure they find the products that give them the relief they're looking for in the most efficient way and the safest way.
How did the organization come to be?
So we were founded by a physician in 2016 when medical cannabis first became legal in Florida, and we saw a need. There were dispensaries being opened and no doctors who were writing recommendations. In the early days in Florida, physicians, like in a lot of places, were concerned. Am I going to get in trouble? Am I going to lose my license? And they didn't have the education. They didn't know how to do it comfortably. So we had to find physicians who had experience so we could start creating a group of doctors who were knowledgeable and compassionate in writing recommendations for patients. And so it really grew from there. And in the early days, that was the challenge, finding doctors who were able and willing to practice this kind of medicine. And so it was a need.
Do you find yourself having to combat a lot of misinformation, both from consumers and physicians?
Constantly. One of the biggest jokes is people are always afraid, am I going to get the munchies and put on weight?
Right.
And what our doctors have experienced is that the patients actually lose weight. Why? Because if you're in chronic pain, you don't move. You don't do anything. You're depressed, so you're not exercising, you're not active, and you eat. And so when you can help somebody be pain-free, it changes their whole life. They're happy, they're playing with the grandkids, they're doing things, and they're not eating all day. And so our patients actually lose weight after they are successfully having their conditions treated with cannabis.
How are you navigating difficulties around policy in states that don't have the easiest laws to work with?
Yeah. The biggest challenge for our doctors is staying compliant with the ever-changing laws. The rules and regulations are different in every state. They change constantly, and oftentimes they don't make a lot of sense. And so that's one of the things that we provide for our physicians is that guidance. And we have a very robust electronic medical records, which is very flexible. So we can roll with the punches, so to speak, and whatever they throw at us, we're able to adapt. We also set it up from the beginning as a medical practice. So we collect records, we do a full H&P, so whatever the imaginable requirements a state agency can put on us, we're ready to go.
Can you tell us a little bit about how you came to the company and your personal backstory with medical cannabis?
Sure. I'm an attorney by training, and I was working as a healthcare regulatory attorney, primarily in senior housing, nursing homes, assisted living facilities, and handling regulatory issues for doctors, healthcare providers. And so when DocMJ was starting, they came to me and said, hey, can you help us make sure that we comply with the regulations? And the challenge in that day is there were no regulations.
Right.
So we went ahead and looked at, what are the likely regulations? As an experienced healthcare attorney, I've dealt with regulations all across the country and all the states, so it's fairly easy to predict. So I got involved by helping them recruit doctors and give the doctors the security that no matter what happens, I will be there and we will protect you. And just got more and more involved. And what I found is it was very, very rewarding to be in a business that was helping people. We were changing lives. In my nursing home work, it was more about helping people die with dignity, but there wasn't really any good days. But in the nursing home world, or in the medical cannabis world, we were making a positive difference. And it was just so rewarding that I just got more and more drawn into the industry. And many years ago, switched full time from a traditional healthcare regulatory practice to owning and operating DocMJ.
Do you have a story that particularly affected you that you share with people when you're talking about the work you do?
I do. Very early on, we partnered with dispensaries, and we had our physicians' offices right next door to the dispensaries, and even just right down the hall. And so we were very close to them. And I remember very early on in Florida, the biggest challenge the dispensary had was meeting demand. So they were running out of product. And in the early days, the common patients were children in Florida, and particularly children who had seizures. And I remember to this day, it chokes me up, a mother came to buy more product for her daughter, her young daughter, and they were out of it. And she broke down in tears. She was hysterical. And it caught my attention because, why is somebody crying down the hall? And the poor, dispensary person was like, I don't know what to tell you. We don't have the product. I don't know when it's coming in. I can't really help you. And this product had changed her daughter's life. It had changed the whole family's life. And the thought of not having this product for her daughter brought her to such tears and such emotion. It just hit home to me. This is really changing people's lives for the better. This is not a mother clearly trying to get their 8-year-old child high. This is a mother trying to get their child to live a normal life without seizures. And I just thought from that moment on, this is really not just about getting people high. This is about getting people better. And from that moment on, I was hooked.
What do you think it is that we need to do to better get the point across to lawmakers, policymakers, legislators about that exact thing that you're talking about the medicine?
Yeah, it's all about telling the stories about how people are getting better and living better lives. It is not about getting high. It is not about stoners. That's not who's coming to our doctors. That's not who's walking into dispensaries and buying products in most states. It is really educating them about the true medicinal value of cannabis. And I think one of the things that we're missing is a discussion about what else can cannabis do? What are the hidden potentials that we've only begun to discover? What other things can we cure? And what other conditions can we treat with cannabis? And we would do the detailed and necessary research to really uncover the full potential of this plant.
What are your thoughts on I've written about this, the sort of divesting the idea of getting high from medicine. Do you feel like there's any world in which we could sort of say it's also okay to feel some of that euphoric effect as part of the benefits of the medicine, or do we really need to sort of put the two ideas separately for people to understand it as medicine?
I think both can coexist. There's nothing wrong with enjoying the psychoactive effects of cannabis. If that's what you want to do, that's fine. Just like nobody would say there's anything wrong with getting drunk. If you want to get drunk, get drunk. Nobody's trying to stop people from doing that. Everything has to be done in moderation and responsibly. But I fear that if we focus on the psychoactive effect, we won't dedicate the time, energy, and money into the research to find what else we can do with this plant. I really want to make sure that we have fully investigated all of the medicinal benefits and what suffering can we really relieve from people and not get too caught up in the recreational side.
I understand that. What are your thoughts on what we could see next under this new era with the Trump administration?
I think it's very clear that everybody in politics has gone from being hardcore no to cannabis to sort of indifferent. Even those who are not pro-cannabis are not looking to stop it and are not calling it reefer madness or devil's weed or anything like that anymore. So I think there'll just continue to be a greater acceptance from everybody and less resistance, and that'll allow us to continue to move forward. I would hate to predict the rate and how fast we'll go, because I still don't think that we're at a point where anybody's going to burn a whole lot of energy on it. I don't think that it's going to be a priority for this administration, but I do think they'll stay out of the way, and that's a good thing.
And Schedule 3 would obviously hugely affect DocMJ.
Yeah. Schedule 3 will be a big deal. It's one of the only industries I know where they're saying, hey, the government's going to regulate us now. Good news. Because we don't know what they will do with Schedule 3, what the FDA will do with it. But whatever they do, we'll be in a good position to comply and to maximize the accessibility to our patients, no matter what the FDA rules are. But in a bigger picture, it will continue to increase the acceptability of cannabis as medicine and destigmatize it. Once the federal government finally says officially there is a medicinal benefit of that, that will continue to help with public opinion. And those on the more conservative side who have always thought it was just a recreational drug will hopefully continue to move towards acceptance.
What has your experience been at MJBizCon? Have you just been walking the trade show floor and meeting with people?
Yeah, it's been great. It's my first time here at MJBizCon, and it's been a little overwhelming. But it's great to see so many people who are so interested in the plant and in the business, and helping me to understand, how big it is across the country.
This is your first time?
It is.
I love that. It is a little overwhelming, but it's also really exciting.
It's very exciting, and it's been very educational for me, so I've really enjoyed it.
Awesome. Well, it's so good to chat with you. Where can we find out more about DocMJ and follow online, get more information for everything?
The best way to find us, we have resources, we have lots of informative blogs, is at www.docmj.com is our website.
DocMJ.com.
That's us.
Thank you so much, Aaron. A pleasure.
It's been my pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. This was another episode of Cannabis Tech Talks presented by Green Rebates at MJBizCon. We'll see you later.
CryoCure perfectly dries your cannabis harvest in as little as 12 hours. It uses finely tuned time, temperature, and pressure to create terpene-rich flower with the right moisture content. It's perfect for smoking or extraction. CryoCure gets your flower to market faster with models that can handle up to 1,000 pounds at a time. This incredible patented tech is available in the US, Canada, and around the world. Remember, if it's not CryoCure, it's just freeze-dried. Learn why at cryocure.com.